Greetings everyone, please come on to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's put on up. Need to turn live chat windows. And that is all good to go. Oh, looks my YouTube stream over here is bugging out. Let me just do a quick refresh. And looks like everything is good to go. So, let's go ahead and get started. Replays. This one's 13 megabytes. Let's do that one first. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the south side as, or north side as, the blue Susanoo, we got Divine. Spawn on the south side as the red Kronos, we got Keto. Up, looks like a bunch of sheeple being obtained. This map is a little bit unique. A lot of the extra town centers are on, or in the valleys, not necessarily on top of valleys. I don't know why. If you look at the mini-map, this looks like a mountain, but in actuality, it's a hole. Am I stupid at thinking that? Look, I'm not sure how well you guys can see it on your side, but that clearly looks like a mountainside rather than a valley to me. I think it's one of those weird optical illusion things. When it comes to major and minor gods, of course, Susanoo is focused on myth units and god powers. Tributes generate favor upon obtaining the tier. Myth units also provide Bushido EXP. God powers are cheaper to invoke. Invoking god powers makes the other god powers cheaper, 20% cheaper to invoke, and all units, including both human soldier and myth units, have special abilities to recharge 33% faster. I never noticed there's a scroll bar here. Am I stupid? I never noticed there's a whole scroll bar. Huh. I think I'm just an idiot. Of course, when it comes to unique god power, summons a sword, which is based like Shockwave, a little less responsive. Its primary job is to make the other god powers cheaper. Losing this connection, I think, YouTube may be bugging out. And of course, you get Crushing Wave, making myth units faster, and a bit of divine damage there. For Kronos, of course, he's also focused on myth units as well as siege weapons, kind of time shift buildings. Buildings are constructed fast nearby manors. You get 2 free myth units per age rather than just 1, and you get a bit of a refund of your myth units and siege units by 20% as you lose them. Of course, deconstructs the building, but does get the resources back to the player and better time shifting here. Nothing too crazy at that part. When it comes to major and minor gods, I'm biased towards Leto. Automatons are nice, mostly defensive myth unit. They can be used offensively, but heroes are pretty common. Spyler is an excellent defensive god power. You also get potentially pierce armor for human soldiers, heroes, and automatons, and better oracles. Overall, a lot of fun stuff there. Valor is a good way to get cheap heroes. Promethean has a decent frontline bulky myth unit. Your citizen heroes get 20% faster, which is very nice, and faster promotion time, which is nothing too important there, honestly. For Susanoo, using Anario Kami's by default, but Mina Katatomi is not a bad option either. Swamp Lands, in my opinion, still an overpowered god power, just kills off 40 minutes. Spider Lair does 4. This kills like 20. Granted, Spider Lair is also much cheaper. But either way, Drogomu is a decent frontline myth unit, which does combo quite well with the Ivory Netsukune, which does provide your myth units give you gold return upon dealing damage. Wisdom 9 makes your Kasune faster, or makes their aura stack more hit points by line of sight, and good cavalry hit points and bonus damage. Primarily, the Crushing Wave just goes excellent with the Kasune. Mina Katomi is an excellent defensive god power with the Shrine of the Hunt. That mentions good for favor generation, food generation, as a resource you can claim, as well as just the extra wolves for defense, which does get affected by crushing waves, so they do get speed and divine damage. When Yudo or a weird myth unit that only does crushing damage and burning damage over time, don't really know what to make of them. Even now, villagers, of course, get better hunting, which goes compensates quite nicely with the Shrine of the Hunt. Hunter strength, of course, improve your ranged soldiers' damage and reduce their cost, as well as siege unit cost. So both are excellent minor god hunts. The extra divine damage can be the extra wolf defenders is very nice. When you have for relics on the map, got the arrows of Ulfar, give your ranged attack of buildings, so it makes your defensive buildings better. Huh. Anacondas. Anaconda don't want whatever it was. Free golden lions, who are not myth units, so they do not get affected by the crushing wave. Villagers gather wood and gold better, 5%, not bad. And jade here, improve myth unit speed by 5% as well, so if you want even faster myth units, go for that. Prometheus being selected, and we do have the Sacred Custodians queued on up. Needs more food. Looks like Chronos tended to be very aggressive with the age up with a extra free myth unit. Hopefully that gets time shift time. Deconstructs the temple. Managed to barely get in time. Definitely high level play here. Got 2 Promethean. But of course no Bob to go for Promethean. We do have Mina Katomi now being deployed or researched. The Kitsune does offer some divine damage. The Miko is the only real anti-myth unit at this moment. She is basically a heroic villager, but she does have a bit of trouble. Healing the villagers on the front line is not a bad way for her to fight. Right now, the single Kitsune does go down. It actually had less DPS against myth units than the villagers. Valor power. We could see a Shrine of the Hunt pop out here. Promethean offspring. And now, if the Kitsune was still alive, the Kitsune would do full damage, which is still not super high. So it's not a bad idea for Susanoo to go for more Kitsune, because they do provide Bushido experience. Miko is currently not worship the shrine. This one could be meant for the for the Shrine of the Hunt. It's put next to chicken, which I don't think are a very good resource for when it comes to generation effect. Why not put it right there with the wood or the berries? So Shrine of the Hunt may be deployed out here. Does get deployed out there. And villagers trying to build a town center. Of course, these are all Promethean offspring. They're not exactly super high performance. The Promethean is just supposed to be a bit more of a bulky tank unit. Heals the villager in combat, very nice. Miko does slap one of them. It looks like this town center will be built. Another Valor power. Can't speak. We do now have the saltwater spring. So the looks like the deer will drink from the saltwater spring, giving them their salty flavor without needing to season them. Wolves are biting. While they are affected by crushing wave, they do not provide experience, which would be a bit overpowered, honestly, if they did. We do have some turkeys here. Huh. These turkeys have a bit of blue onto them. Almost like a peacock colors. I'm just using North American turkeys. I suppose the Aztecs turkeys will still be North American. But then again, there are llamas. I don't think llamas were in Mesoamerica. Only in South America. Maybe not. It may be a good idea for Susanoo to eye for a faster age up, so it can get the other god power on cooldown. I think usually it was Raiju's usually the selected. Not Raiju. Raiju's the myth unit. Raijin is usually the favorite. Theft of Fire is being researched, and Hyperion queued on up. Both players have a town center. It does put a tiny bit of walls there. It also sort of feels like the Atlantean campaign in Defense Atlantis, with the town center locked away in the low ground. You know, the mission with all the automatons? I don't think he actually built that. I think that was actually the free one. He finally rebuilt the temple there, which got him his free 1 Yudo. Crushing Wave, man, the attack speed's actually pretty slow, so the divine damage from Crushing Wave won't really affect us all too much. Elpel just push it forward, ready to smash that wheel on in. We do now have Crushing Wave being researched. Looks like there's too many villagers on these deer, but we'll rapidly seize them all and get all their delicious meats. Deconstructs the temple once again. How annoying. Probably should have saved that charge for our palace, honestly. Doja here, we've got Samurai and a Onomusha. Samurai trying to intercept that Capotus, but he is, of course, anti-cavalry unit there, so he does have the capability to actually jog everywhere and sprint everywhere. And we do actually have Fujin selected, which is the rare of the two for Susanoo. Hyperion now is being researched. Fusion's not going to be researched. He has plenty of gold for it and needs a lot more food.
Nani?
And I don't know actually how far north he can actually go. All the way. Wait, he can time shift like a watchtower or palace. What time shift shenanigans could Kronos do here? Don't know if there's enough room for a palace, but time shift palace to start trading up some destroyers would be interesting. Or fire siphons? I don't know. But something could be done there. Zog Doggos does bite one of the Promethean. You can see here divine damage and increased move speed. Zog Doggos are better than exotic kitty cats. Heroic Renewal now being researched. And a good number of Argus archers. Fusion is now being queued on up, which I can't remember what upgrades he provides. Oni is something you really don't see too much. Let's see, myth units increase hit points and reduce train time, cavalry speed, and attack speed. So you may be going for the Hunter Strength, because that affects the Yumi archers, Gale Fury to increase their attack speed, and then probably can go for the Watasumi for more Yumi archer upgrades here. That is my guess what he's going to go for at this point in time. And Oni, increased damage and hack armor. The Gus is a very fun god power to send certain armies back quite a distance, but nothing too high damaging like the Thunderous Drum ability. So it looks like Susanoo's probably going to be a bit more focused on amplifying the Age 4 god power, because that one's devastating and making that one cheaper. Shrine of the Hunt isn't very nice for economic reasons. Does not have enough favor for it. In fact, doesn't even have a Bushido Tier 1 just yet. Got a pair of Satyrs here, Argus Archers, Compultus. And going for just a large amount of Argus Archers. So Shinobi are part of the way for him to deploy in the field. He's aged on up, he may want to get some Shinobi queued up, going for some Yumi Archers now, and some Daimyos. And is mainly building an Oni. Manners being deployed in the field. Villagers getting peppered up. The Oni course has a bit more moves being things crush waves but actually able to keep up formation. Provides a decent amount of Bushido experience. Attack speed is low, damage is high. Not that button. He does have an ability. What it is, I'm not sure off the top of my head. Destroyers being deployed in the field. But there's a lot of heroic Argus Archers. The Oni should be lightened up a little bit. They just get ripped apart. Cavalry speed and attack speed. With that, he probably needs to go for Termos as counter cavalry. Yeah, once he starts seeing his ones going for Yumi Archers, he needs to go for more Terma play. Compelled is not bad. They counter cavalry themselves, of course, but they're melee, while the Termos are anti-range, which Yumi Archers are, of course, ranged. 3 Onis is way too... Oh, there's the Chaos God power. Smiting Gust there gets half the army split apart. Those ones manage to go above the trees. I'm sort of surprised actually by that. Gets to the fortress palace there, gets on the far side, very nice. Gonna be crushing that palace there. The one duo is also supporting. We do actually have some Shinobi here. Argus Archers there. Trying to go for the Oni now. We do also have some Naginata Riders. Oh, got the Katana there, which does make the Shrine of the Hunt cheaper as well as Smiting Gus. Very nice. So these Onis are getting a good amount of damage done. All these units are going to fall back being pursued. Argus Archers, more Mellows. And Gunumi Samurai is quite wounded right now. He does need to just fall back and heal on up. Samurai and Shinobi still provide some health regen. He does have heavy now. He managed to get this research up pretty quickly. Probably thinks the Oni. Trying to time shift these buildings away. He does manage to destroy some of them. You can see the progress bar down there, but that one gets destroyed as well. Oni mask and research. And we do now have Hyperion or Helios queued on up, as well as a bunch of promotions. Going some rice farms now. Of course, these are not in paddy, so these are dry rice farms, which are like a harder variant. Not as appetizing as the rice paddy rice, but it's still edible. And sometimes that's all you need in history. Can people eat? If the answer is no, things are going wrong. More Kitsune being deployed in the field, just the one. Probably just trying to get a speed buff because some of these units are slow and fat. Looks like only Warlord actually got sent down to 3.9 from 4. Yeah, over 1,300 health is quite significant. Looks like the Japanese player's at pop cap. Kronos is not. The Japanese player has quite a bit of population deployed in the field. 128. Only 75 villagers versus 100 civilian population. And he has queued up Watasuma. Both players are aging up. Kronos will age up first, which of course will give him the Hecus Gigantus. Going for bronze upgrades, going for champion range. With this much bulk, even the Argus Archers will have a bit of trouble going through all the Oni Warlord's health. Where is his army? There they are. Marmellos have a times 5.5 multiplier. Same with Argus Archers. Yeah, with that much health, they still have a bit of trouble versus them. But of course, they're slow and bulky. No splash damage. More Yumi Archers being pulled in the field. And with the final upgrade, they can get up a +2 range. I don't think he's also gotten the other upgrades just yet. Nope, he does. He has gotten the +1 range there. So looks like they'll get up to 18 range. Argus Archers have 20. Going for more Shinobi, which is very good. The Warlord is taking some hits. Let's see, Yumi Archers right now doing 14 damage at a fast attack speed. Argus Archers right now doing 8.1 at a normal attack speed. You had a nice little bit there. He did go for the Naginata to go try to hunt, but may want to save it up before he's pulling out his H4 God Power first, likely. Yeah, these Yumi Horse Archers have pretty good damage right now. There are 3 population, so 50% more population consumption. These of course have normal 2. So 8.7. So yeah, right now it looks like their DPS seems pretty even. No, wait, no, Yumi Horse Archers have higher DPS because that's about double for 50% population. Of course, health-wise, they have about the same. So the heavy Yumi Horse Archers not only are fast, but they're also a bit more glass cannon. Excuse me, glass cannon-y for the population worth. Oh, that does increase Argus Archers damage. Hecus Gigantus does get a bit of smash downs right now. Right now they're 900 health. They have less health than the Oni Warlords, but a bit more armor. And much higher attack speed. There's some of these Shigamis. Does get increased range these guys now. The asymmetrical bows just increase the damage and line of sight. And he does have this available. But of course, he doesn't have too much favor sorted up. He probably needs to get out some more Mikos and start focusing shrines. The Shrine of the Hunt, of course, will help out with that, but probably best to deploy the Dragon Typhoon first. I'm going to try to wait and see an army. We do have a castle here. So these villagers may need to stand and fight. These guys are pretty wounded. They do stand and fight to a certain extent. Only one was healthy. For metals before, they have low pierce armor. Here comes Dragon Typhoon, and Vortex is away to save his army. But he does travel this way. I'm not sure where his army actually went. It looks like over here. Vortex will still do some damage to this infrastructure and other stuff, but good Vortex on out of there. Villagers try to run away now. Needs to go for everything here. Of course, he does now have enough favor from the Shrine of the Hunt. Maybe down here would be very nice. Help protect this exterior town center. Another Smiting Gust there. That's where he spent his favor to help save that region. Not a bad idea. Gave him some breathing room. Chaos God Power over here. There's some of these Onmoji, I don't know how to pronounce anything, heroic siege units. Now we got Katana summoned there. Shrine hunts down 27 favor. Another deconstruction god power somewhere. Over here, destroyers. But there's some stuff intercepting it. Some Shrine of Exotic Doggos here could be very nice in order to help provide some defense. So the next tier has been obtained, getting some extra favor going. Spent the favor on something more of these Shinigamis. Shinobi pushing forward, stabbing some of these guys. Oh, another Vortex. Over here. Villager sneaking out. He doesn't realize it's over here just yet. Some spawn on the high ground. Could Shrine the Hunt here, but that'll be quickly goes on down. Blues pushing down over here. Reinforcements can head up here for the time frame. Village trying to prep the town center. Blues, of course, crushing through a lot of stuff here. So it looks like the soul there maybe waiting to queue on up. Or that was just this guy here. Destroys the town center. Vortexes. Back here. Let's see, next Vortex costs 50 favor, so it's starting to get a bit expensive. Castle takes some damage there. Of course, some destroyers, but nothing too significant. Saves the castle. Argus archers do not have incendiary arrows yet, which is a bit of a problem. Champion infantry now being researched. Oracle in the corner. I'm just looking at the Shrine of Hunts, like, go for it. It takes forever to get on cooldown. Shinobi trying to torch down the building, the castle. No boiling oil, but some of these guys are getting hit from over here. Fanatics being summoned. We got some of his unique Grenadier hero guys. I still don't know how to pronounce the name. New archers trying to engage. Orc archers trying to fall back. Fire Siphon's trying to push his way forward. Will be intercepted, so just moving his way forward. Does take out that hero there. Takes out the palace now. More Argus archers being queued on up. Definitely probably should have more shinobi at this point. A palace being manually being built here, not being time shifted forward.
Nani?
These villagers trying to come up here and stab it. Nope, they're migrating away. Looking at more gold over here. This gold being by a Japanese player. Well, there's no more gold left over here. The map's starting to run low on gold. Kronos doesn't have too much gold stored up. Susanoo has plenty of gold for the time frame. And wood. Cantarius heading up north, some Marmellos and Argus archers, and the pair of golden lions. Does hit some of these villagers there. Tears some of the fanatics, deconstructs the palace or castle. More llama caravans being sent by Kronos, no deer caravans by Susanoo. Trying to build another castle there. Some Comptars trying to accept those citizens or villagers. Does build some walls over here. So does these barracks here. Fire siphons straight forward. Looks like Susanoo's just going to overwhelm from multiple flanks. In the center, we do have a bit of rebuild, so some of these structures are quite damaged. We still have some defensive palaces back here. Oh, that's a big round of heroes there. They without the fire get some extra income. I guess at this point in time, he really should have perhaps gone for also for Leto to get the extra pierce armor for all human soldiers. And maybe Atlas would have been good as well. Kronos can get Atlas, right? Atlas. Yep, for the increased Titan shield period of pierce armor. Another vortex. No, not there. I'm not sure where he got summoned. Way over here. No Shrine Hunt has been deployed in the field just yet. Town Center does go down.
준비 완료.
Gain some damage there. Do have now these knocking out our riders straight forward. Another Chaos God power there. It does take out some of those fire sections. Blue's trying to immediately trying to rebuild that town center. Town center does get destroyed. More llama caravans being deployed in the field. You also got Sons of Suns to turn all oracles of heroes. Turkeys heading back home to be gobbled up. We do have a bit of Lumbergan there, as well as another Miko providing some good favor generation. Oh, we finally got Temporal Chaos. I would assume that would be a god power you researched a long time ago. We got Gemini as well. Bronze walls. So it looks like he found some tin. After all, during this time period, tin was a bit more of a rare resource than copper. You also need 9 parts copper, 1 part tin, in order to make bronze, which was originally sourced from South America, not South, from Spain as well as Ireland, if I remember correctly, is the big 2 deposits, at least in Europe. Blue's gonna break his way through. Llama caravans are in good numbers, providing 113 gold. I don't see the build limit onto them. Heroic Citizen there. 47 out of 60. Time shifts this temple away. And red is trying to go for our Titan Gate. Got a mirror tower. Does do 91 range damage, 22 range. It's a little attack speed. No, I'm so surprised mirror towers don't do divine damage, honestly. Then again, it probably wants to make sure that it still does not counter siege weapons, let siege weapons counter them. But with a build limit of 5, I can still say I think it would still be relatively balanced if it just the divine just damage, maybe mix divine and range. Maybe does divine damage, but has more of a damage multiplier versus human soldiers and myth units. Yeah, that'd be getting a little bit too much into it. We do have some Yari Spearmen being queued on up by the Susanoo player. More architecture, more Contineras being queued up. Still no Termas. Really surprised he hasn't gotten anything from Termas. Contineras pushing forward, getting hit by all the Yumi archers. They do have a bit of bonus damage versus range units, like the Yumi archers. There's a large number of them already there. We do have the watchtower upgrade for the lane team player, Kronos. More stuff being time shifted. These are guard towers. Being time shifted where? I'm not exactly sure. He is forward deploying stuff. Looks like they're being time shifted over here. We have a barracks in the corner as well. There is the Titan. I was wondering where the Titan gate was deployed in the field. Couldn't see in the mini map. Smiting Gust there. Knocks back good force that army there. And does melee vortex over there, but looks like it did not grab the units in midair. Good to know. Remember that. Does not grab units flying in the air. I'm pretty sure you can't attack units that are knocked back in the air as well, with like arrows or melee. It looks like it can't be affected by a vortex either. Plus 25% damage for versus cavalry, so they are affected by coronation. If you ever wondered. And it looks like Susanoo does resign. The Titan was right there. This is Grade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to next replay. I resigned because of the Titan advancing. Let's see. Fuxi is one for the eye. It's been a while since the last cast some Chinese. That's Tsukiyomi and Odin, I think. Set versus Gaia and Freya versus Gaia. Let's do Fuxi. I think China is probably the least selected of the major civilizations, along with Egypt. Oh, looks like somebody has a slow arrow key painting. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom right side as the blue Fuxi, we have tag_recon with a lowercase o. On top left side as the red Hades, we got Boit, who also has a lowercase o. Because of major minor gods, and never remember all of the Chinese ones myself. Human soldiers and heroes blesses yin and yang, so it splits between food, better resource collection and better damage. Fairlands, buildings of Fairlands is 300% fast, research 300% faster, and military camp machine workshops additions cost less. Gains access to Nuzha, an excellent hero in the classical age, and additional legendary hero that gets stronger per age. Of course, you got the cherry peach blossoms, which just slowly generates or accumulates resources, best way to put it, which you can collect up later on. Try to do this at the last moment of collection when you actually do need it. Maybe try to save a favor to get a second one up and going. Celestial weapons make your heroes better, and has a second upgrade of Ta Chi, which does make your heroes also more resilient to damage and train faster. Very nice to have. Hades, of course, is a fan favorite. Focus on range soldiers buildings. You get a 20% chance of a shade as a rebate as you lose units, human soldiers. Myth units get, oh, this has changed the last time I cast them. You get plus 4% hit points per age. Beforehand, it was plus 15%. So in theory, this means 4% immediately and to a maximum of 16%, if I'm not mistaken. So a slight buff in Mythic Age, with a nerf in all other ages. Hero soldiers and heroes. Oh wait, I don't think heroes got that effect beforehand. Get +1 range. So it looks like Chiron gets +1 range now. And range fortifications get +2 range. It's still the same. And you get that stuff still normal as well. Vault of Erebus, that seems changed, and Shades of Hades, and Sentinels. Sentinels is of course more of an anti-raiding tool rather than an anti-army tool. Use it to protect yourself from raids, not from armies. When it comes to the age up, I have a bias towards Ares, has a Godfather that's actually one of the few that are nerfed from Gold Edition. Cyclopes is a decent frontline myth unit that costs food. The Spear of Phobos Panic is very nice. Hoplites get additional divine damage, and particularly Prodromos get additional divine damage, making him more of an excellent counter unit. And a lot of Chinese players do still go for heavy cavalry plays, so Ares has a very good upgrade for that. Better Toxates, which combos quite well with Hades, and early high pass is always very nice. That's one more effective than them. Overall, I have a bias towards Ares. He has a lot of good mythological upgrades. Athena has a very powerful god power of restoration. Minotaur, of course, is a decent frontline myth unit as well. Age of Shields make your infantry have more pierce armor, which is good versus China as well. And of course, Hoplites range and damage, which is nice to have as well. But I have a bias towards Ares rather than Athena when it comes to Hades. When it comes to Fuxi and his age ups, let's see. Of course, he's focused on heroes, so something that's more based around heroes. Chi Yu gives lightning weapons, a nice little stun effect there. It's okay, not too fantastic. Dragon Dog of a Sword is a decent teleporting myth unit. Better halberdiers, so better counter unit against cavalry, which may not be important versus Hades. You get a bit of raid, which is very nice, and better Yazi stuff, so both 2 Yazi upgrades. Zwanu. Vanish is nice god power, but it's situational. Quillen's decent for healing unit. Training guards just cost less, which is nice to have. And you get a resummon a human soldier every 5 that same type die, which is a good counterpart to Hades Shades, but probably just generally better, but of course not free. And better healing rate. So Zwanu seems better since Divine Books does combo quite well with Fuxi's Training Guard Focus Editions. And Reincarnation is nice, so I'm thinking Zwanu. And since we got through all the major gods and their likely perspective, let's take a look. Great Zomp Tantali. Century's cars cost less, which is always very nice to have. 15% is a decent amount. Food Trickle. Delicious Fingernails. Which I'm pretty sure the Ship of Fingernails is actually the Egyptian-based mythology one, which is designed, supposed to be like the ship for taking people to the underworld, right? And that was Egyptian, at least. Hummingbird's Beak. Infantry deals bonus damage to other infantry, so get plus 10% bonus damage versus infantry. Honestly, plus 10% is actually quite powerful for relic. I think 5% is probably a bit more relic tier. And raised soldiers get plus 10% hit points. A lot of good relics on this map, to say the least. We do have Chi Yu being selected. Now, this is a raided soldier, so can't be affected by that one relic over here. And he, wait, does Fuxi's upgrade affect Pioneer? Just give me a moment. Hero stuff, yes. No Pioneers specifically said, so oh no, it does have Pioneer plus 1 divine damage, and then the more important ones get more effects. Got it. So we could see some mass Pioneer play. Let's go for the Sky Lantern upgrade. We do have Athena now being queued up for Hades, so it got double wrong selection. Sentinels are not classified as myth units, but they're classified as ranged fortifications, so they're affected by the Sentry Tower upgrades and not receive the bonus damage from Pioneers. Of course, these Pioneers cannot be upgraded with Flam Warfers nor Minesweepers. Wrong game. Got the Yazi here, a good teleporting Dragon Doggo. Attack speed is a little bit slow, 16 damage, health is 300, so it's relatively high in health with good or decent mobility. It is Chariot Archer movement speed. It's mounted Archer's movement speed, if that makes any poor sense. The lightning weapons is a good god power, which is one reason, perhaps one reason why the Fuxi player did go for a Chiyu. Most of the H2 Chinese selection doesn't scream to me great, honestly. Sky Lantern does get shot down. Sky Lantern gets shot down. Be careful, land in a pile of hay. And hay likes to catch on fire. And doesn't need any help catching on fire. If you improperly store hay, the pile of hay can actually catch itself on fire. Hay, when it dries out, does ferment a little bit. Fermenting generates heat. Hay is also a pretty good insulator. So if you have a giant pile of hay, the inside of it can actually start catching on fire, as it would generate that much heat. Yep, well, now just got a bit of eco phase going. We do have two Hippus here. How's the Peach Blossom? At 800 food. Of course, it comes with one free panda nearby. The panda does nothing, just tries to be cute. The pandas, they are stupid creatures. There's a reason why they're going extinct, and it generally has nothing to do with humans. Pandas are incredibly stupid, and they are too retarded for this world, to say the least. Custom Javeliers? I don't actually see the panda model here. Got some chickens. The panda model is, of course, basically invulnerable. It is just meant to be displayed, not to be eaten. I think the panda model didn't actually properly spawn. It may have been trying to spawn off map, so maybe we'll see it off in the corner somewhere. Not sure what happens if something gets tried to spawn off map. A lot of RTSs do weird things when it comes to edge of the map. I know StarCraft 2, things just try to be gradually pushed on in, but you can sort of bug it so it skirts on the outside of the map. Age of Empires games usually a hard boundary. And games like Command & Conquer, like Kane's Wrath, Tiberium Wars 3, units on the edge of the map could actually become intargetable. In fact, it becomes invulnerable. It sort of does like an outer play sort of thing. Company of Heroes actually has a nice mechanic when it comes to the hard edge of the map, where the hard edge of the map is actually very far off, so it has more of a natural entrance onto the map, and then there's restrictions in that one, which is a mix of hard and soft boundary, where you can't go onto it, but things can sort of creep on out there, but they become out of play, and thus they can't do anything until they get back in play. Plus, a nice thing about computers too, and a lot of our, and like particularly computers too, units can be deployed that are summoned off map to get driven in on map, like tiger tanks and other elite infantry. Very fun mechanic. It gives you a wider scope that things were actually not trained on map. Until they eventually just changed in one of the balance patches where units are just trained at the booths to get trained at, rather than get calls a unit off map, which does lose a bit of the charm of the game. Minotaur being summoned. We got Norm the Minotaur still here, we're supported by Achilles. Don't see Ajax in the formation. The relic that I think for ranged soldiers have not been picked up by either side. Age 3, Gumong, who's the wind, so got some cavalry stuff there. And we don't actually see Nezha been deployed in the field just yet either. Javelers try to get a swipe against the Toxotes. Let's just give me a bit of reminder. Force protection for occasional snares. You get a Tao Wu, high durability charge. Vibrant lands, village gather wood faster. Houses now function as wood drop off and summons trees, so good wood upgrades. Pierce or hack armor and speed for cavalry. And ship stuff. So wood and cavalry. Tao Wu is a decent siege unit, very slow until it's not. Definitely one of the more fun myth units, honestly. He doesn't want a giant thing just charging at you. China does have a lot of fun myth units. Jump infantry, no. Teleporting doggo, better. Pegasus does not get shot down there. Do now have some white horse cavalry. I always find this little unit weird. Its special range attack is a manual casted attack, not a special attack. Makes me wonder if people actually try to use it, or maybe it would be better if it was a special attack, a charge attack. This one's so not been picked on up. Do now have Aphrodite being pulled in the field rather than Apollo, which is usually my preferred selection for Hades. I just have big bias towards Manticore in general. Oh, we do have. Oh no, that's not age up. That's the Hooves the Wind. For some reason, that looks like almost like a minor god of itself. Nezha being researched. Got some sages being put on the field. Looks like Blue finds some goats. Goats course the goat. There's age up, so both players now aged up to 3. Hip is currently medium. Toxates are currently medium. These white horse cattle looks medium, rare. Right now I'm hungry. I forgot to eat dinner before my stream. Oh well. You have looks the ship of fingernails have been collected up by the Hades player. Red still in one town center, blue appears to be still one town center, so both players are relatively low on villagers. 100 military population to 107. Both players are basically a POF cap. I heard something, but I don't know what I heard. Golden apples, bow saw, and pickaxe. Golden apples improve your villagers' favor generation by 20%. We do have some patrolmos being employed in the field, very nice. Execute on up Hepatus. This, of course, will improve, providing plenty of Vault of Plenty, cheaper blacksmith upgrades, and, of course, better unique human soldier. And over here, we do have now Gong Gong, which does, I forget. That's the Great Flood, the Long Dragons, Heaven Shaker, hero hit points by 30%. Bonus damage against myth units for here as well. And here's a better recharge. Emboldens your cavalry in the face of defeat. Improves their hack and pierce armor as they start losing health. And grants you long veterancy. So hero and cavalry. That is what Fuxi is generally eyeing. We do now have Hepatus being queued on up. Still need to figure out how to pronounce a lot of these names. It's not like Hepatus, it sounds like hepatitis, which may actually where the term beef comes from. Hephasis. I think it's actually Hephasis, isn't it? Hephaestus? Hephaestus. Hephaesus. Pegasus here. Got these heavy hip vests push 4 does find some prodrome or the white horse cavalry, which do have bonus versus range. Enemy line like stuns this formation there, very nice. Like any good cat, it just screams at his opponent. Chiron here, now at 19 range. Hip is queued on up. Oh, we do have some Javeliers here. Hip is trying to intercept them though. Halberdiers advancing here. We do now have the Plentiful Course Summon. Curse here. Looks like a good number of piggies here to wee all the way to their new home, which would be my stomach. We've got the pigs here next to the boar. Send over a unit there to pick up the piggies. Because pigs love to be picked up, I think. Though I do know that when it comes to pigs, wild boar can get up to 500 pounds, which is the same poundage as some bear. just give a reference point how big Boar can get. There's a Quinn Long here. It has only range damage, so it will lose out versus town centers. It's anti-army, not anti-structure. Immediately gets shot down. There's Nezha there. And the piggies will wee. Here comes the Tao Wu. Does not knock back Chiron. Here comes a very fine flood. Restoration to heal these guys up. But does not appear to heal while they're floating about, it honestly sort of look like. If I'm mistaken. Because usually units that knock back have trouble taking damage and other effects. But I didn't seem like it was going to heal enough, but maybe I just was paying too close attention. Lightning weapons have been summoned, so got bitted stun chance across all units now. Doesn't last very long. But still a very nice god power. Does clean up Red's army with all those god powers. Does not deploy force protection. Has enough favor for another Peach Blossom Spring. This one has equipped. There's the panda. Has a lot of armor. The number of Cavaliers, so Hippa still be generally good there. His unique Cavalry, the Herontaros, wouldn't be half bad as well. Against the Tiger Cavalry, Prodrome will still be good call, which will probably still be adequate enough for that Javeliers. Bears are being unbearable. Hero recharge and cost. We do now actually have the Celestial Weapon Research. A bit late on that. More Prodromos, Toxize, and Nemean Lion. I wonder if he has Nemean Rex upgrade. Nope. Only Nemean Lions. Shades, Ajax leading the front line, Prodromos now advancing as well. Picks off some of those villagers. Let's see, you can see here, this one's up to 53, 63 armor. This one's at 43, 55. Don't know how effective that upgrade is. It just feels like that. Even if you lose a lot of health, your health is low enough where you can simply get smashed through. I don't know how effective that upgrade actually is. May allow it to take one more shot, but it's hard to say. Alright, it's now pushing forward over here. Nemean line does get a nice little stun there. Perseus does turn the Tao Wu into stone. More lightning weapons have been summoned. Red's going to be backing on off. He was also affected by the Javeliers. Looks like Chiron got stunned there a little bit. Actually taking some damage over time. That may have been from Nezha. That's probably the damage he was taking. Oh, it's amphibious. Units heading down south. And number how it is here, as well as number of the cavalry. Greenery starts going down, so we'll be able to grind these Pumbos at a thin red pace. Red's making advance over here. Maybe we'll take up the town center. It is fortified. Blue's now advancing over here with the Tiger Cavalry. We're just getting hit up by these Javeliers. Red's going to be falling on back. Masonry now being researched. This is some of these villages. Oh, that's the Nezha ability thing there. The Chakram, I think it is. I thought Chakrams are more Indian. Not sure. Or should I say Hindustani? Since now we have Indians in the game. Or Mesoamericans, I should say. Granary does go down. Good number of hoplites here. Starting to engage these units. Prodromos are cheap as well as everything for Hades. Toxae still firing away, not being focused down there. Now the Javeliers are now starting to engage some Toxaes. Started stepping away, trying to keep their distance. Javeliers have 19 range, Toxaes have 16. Even though the Javeliers have better range, as they still have to close the range to not get hit in the face. Red's front line starting to disintegrate pretty quickly. Red's starting to lose in the front line. These units being pursued, more hoplites being summoned. Tiger Cavalry taking some damage there. Hoplites bonus damage is not exactly too high, but they're pretty good journalist units either way. No direct counter to these hoplites. Tiger Cavalry have bonus versus range and cavalry, but not versus infantry. They are also 3 populations as opposed to 2. When it comes to fighting versus the hoplites. More hoplites being summoned. Got these siege crossbows being deployed in the field now. Got a bit of a something being built there with the walls. Got a fortress in return. Tiger Cavalry trying to intercept now. We may see some sentinels here. No, does not have enough favor. Have 0 villagers collecting up favor at the moment. Got a spot to engage the town center. Those are trying to... I'm not sure what they're trying to do. We've got walls in the way. Toxae or hoplites do find an opening. More hoplites heading over here. Petrobolas engaging the ballet. But the cavalry's gonna fall back away from this region. Another Perseus got some Heliopoli being deployed in the field. Oh, Terracotta Riders summoned. Wonder, Terracotta Riders, they are affected by Champion and Heavy and all that sort. More lightning weapons have been summoned. Still got some engagements up here. Siege crossbows, reinforcements. Red's force here will be cleaned on up. Red has not restarted building towns, so it does have a crane nearby at least to keep those villages nearby to drop off food. Heliopoli having trouble pushing forward into the watchtowers. We got good old watchtowers here. No additions onto these workshops. Force protection now here. That'll snare a good number of those hoplites there. Towns are still not being rebuilt. Right now Hades has enough resources to rebuild it. Though doesn't have too big of gold or nor food stockpile at the moment. Fuxi is also even lower in gold, but has plenty of food and wood. There's more of the hoplites being pulled in the field. And Red does resign now. This is Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Right now, I'm going to end the stream a little bit early. Right now, I have a spine-splitting headache, and I'm having trouble focusing. This is Hand Grade saying, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.